Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment. We're in the Q&A portion of the show. We have been talking about this beast of a monitor, this BenQ 31.5-inch 4K monitor. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. Yeah. You get used to this, and you're like, there's just no going back. It is a swimming pool of pixels. Well, that's a good title for the show, Swimming Pool of Pixels. Oh, well, let's see what's going on in the chat room today. Remember, if you got a question for me, make sure you put @PhotoJoseph in front of it. That way I know it's a question that I can address. For now, Trevor's saying 60% of the reason, I like how it's nailed down to 60. It's not 50%, it's not 75, it's a very specific 60. You sure it's not 62% of the reason that you buy iMacs is really for the gorgeous panel? 100% agree. BenQ seems to be moving up in the ranks, though. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Remember when I was talking about the resolution I run it at, that I'm not running it at full 4K and bringing it down a little bit. I don't know if I made this clear enough in the main show, but I'm not seeing any kind of weird pixeling. Sometimes you scale a screen, it just doesn't look good. I wouldn't be looking at it if it didn't look good. It looks great. It almost looks Retina. It's not quite, believe me, it's not Retina, but it's close enough, right? Like at a proper viewing distance, stuff that I'm reading on screen, that looks really smooth. The fonts, the text looks really, really smooth. So running it that one step down from full resolution, on the Mac at least, really, really works out nicely for this thing. It's a beautiful panel. It absolutely is. Stuart says, I still have 2 of the Apple 30-inch cinema displays. No kidding. Beautiful monitors even now, right? Great value picked up on eBay. Yeah, they're super cheap on eBay right now. Hoping Apple returns to larger sizes next year with the new Mac Pro. I wonder if they will. I don't think so. The impression that I got, once they started listing the LG monitors on Apple.com, that to me was a sign that they're out of the monitor business. It's like when they were selling printers, right? Remember Apple used to make printers like 120 years ago, and then they stopped and they started promoting HPs or whoever else. They just realized it's not a good market, which is odd because you would think that the 5K display that they use in the iMacs is so gorgeous. Why not sell just that display on its own? Put 2 of those side by side, you have 2 identical matching displays. That'd be killer. But I don't know. I really can't, obviously I can't speak for Apple or think inside of the minds of the people who work there, but it does surprise me that they're not doing it anymore, but I kind of doubt a return to that. And keep in mind too, the price premium. You know, Apple displays are usually quite a bit more expensive, historically have been. At $1,500 for this, I don't remember what the big Apple 30-inch display was when it was first selling. God, I think it's 10 years old, I think. I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot. That was an expensive display. So anyway, Tony Smith says, for Q&A, excellent, well that's no. Do you have experience with glide cam type stabilizers? I don't actually. I've only ever used the handheld gimbals. I bought a cheaper one to try out. I can't stop it from rotating left and right, even though it seems balanced. No, I'm sorry, I don't. Balancing on those kind of things is really, really hard. And are you talking about one that is not motorized, a full-on just balanced, in which case that's really, I mean, the balance is going to be so critical in there. The nice thing about the gimbals is you get it close, and you're kind of like, it's probably good enough. The motors will help compensate. You want to get it as close as possible, but I've used mine and rushing to get it, and I'm going, okay, it's not perfect, but it's good enough, and I go, and it works just fine. So I wonder actually if it uses more battery. It probably does. If you're not perfectly balanced, the battery probably doesn't last as long. I don't know. Interesting question though. But anyway, sorry, I do not have experience with glide cams type stabilizers. Trevor says, is there any light bleeding around the edges? No. That's always the weak link with budget monitors. There is not. There is not any light bleeding. What he's talking about is often with these displays, you'll end up seeing light coming from the edges, and in some really bad cases, you can actually see kind of the individual LEDs. Actually, what type of display is this? It's an IPS panel. I don't know what that means. Is it not LED, OLED? I have no idea. Let's see if I just search LED on this page. Does it say anything? No. So maybe it's IPS, not LED. I'm sorry, I'm not that up on display technology. But no, there is no bleeding. I definitely do not see any of that. It looks perfect edge to edge. Which is a good point that you say. I don't think I'd really thought about that before, but it is remarkable. If it was like that, I would have seen it and gone, but no, it's pretty awesome. Trevor says, that looks like a matte screen. It is matte. Definitely matte. That will affect color rendition, particularly saturation and blacks, which is why Apple displays are shiny, because they look so good, right? That Apple shiny display, assuming you can be in an environment where there are no reflections, it's remarkable. My laptop here has that shiny display. I have a light over my shoulder here. It's kind of a backlight here. Right now, I am seeing a perfect reflection of that light. I have to tilt the monitor like this so that I don't get that reflection. That's not where I want this monitor. I want the monitor tilted like this. That's more parallel with my field of view. But I can't do that unless I go over here and I don't get the reflection. But if I'm here, I have to. the reflections suck. It's so annoying. I get why they do it. It looks really, really good, but it is really annoying in a pro space. This screen is definitely matte. If you put on the cover that I showed in the beginning, then you don't get any reflections, any glares at all on it. I'll tell you the time that I get any kind of a glare on there is the very end of the day. So I've got in my office, there's a door to my right. So if you're looking at here, there's a door here, and outside of that door, off to the edge, is a window. And there's a certain time of day where the sun hits that and it's a really, really bright spot, and then I'll get a brighter glow on here from the reflection. I just close my door part way and problem solved. But it is not a reflection, it is just a slight glow. It's a very nice matte display, and it looks beautiful. Absolutely looks beautiful. So yeah, definitely a matte display on there. Okay, no other questions coming up here. Make sure I didn't miss anything earlier, and then we're going to wrap this thing up and call it a week. I guess not. All right, folks. Hey, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed today's show. Again, if you do decide that you want to buy one of these things, and I'm giving it, as many, if I had more thumbs, I'd give him more thumbs up. It is definitely worth it. Not cheap, but at $1,500, I think for what it is a good value. So if you decide you want to buy one, please use my link down below. I would most certainly appreciate that. Thanks very much, everybody, for tuning in today, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.